5.1 to 5.2. I'm using 5.5. What the heck, man? So thick.
Wow. So that concludes that chapter.
Oh, didn't see that. So what is, as I eat my toast here, I'm going to try to describe what Professor Goldberg is essentially and why the heck I'm making it. So Professor Goldberg is essentially I'm always bad at describing these things. It's interesting. Professor Goldberg is a game. I'm not even sure if it's going to be called Professor Goldberg. Essentially, it's a prequel to Tall Poppy in general. Now, I still have to do the body motion capture, the facial motion capture, a save system. There's quite a bit of stuff I actually have to do to get this game to a spot where it needs to be, and then I want to start getting it play tested and whatnot. But I got the majority of the environment completed. I put in the data layers as well, and the data layers are going to be basically, what loads in and when I need it to load in, essentially. And so the intention is to use voice cloning techniques by 11 Labs. I'm going to be using Rococo for the body motion capture. I'll record the whole process here so you can see what's up. And it's at 83% loaded. And so using these tools, I've never used them before, so I'm going to be testing out how to use them and if they're actually effective to be used. But it's kind of like a big experiment. That's what I kind of consider Tall Poppy. Sorry, not Tall Poppy. That's kind of what I consider this game to be, is more like an experiment. How do I use this new facial motion capture technique? I even got a freaking iPhone so I can utilize the LiveLink app. So I've got an iPhone for the facial motion capture using LiveLink. I'm using MetaHumans too, which kind of pairs up really well with LiveLink. I'm going to be using Rococo for the body animations. I've got two webcams here set up. Well, they're not set up yet, but I've got two webcams that I can use for the multi-camera angle motion capture. And I just have to be the best actor I can, as best as I can. And then I'll be able to put the whole thing together here. But in the meantime, so again, today I'm just working on the options screen.
And I just want to basically just show what I got going on here. And so I have been working on this prototype for a bit here. And I'm working on a prequel, and got ourselves, Tall Poppy here. And we got a couple of things. So take a look at what I've been working on. So essentially, I want to have it be a little bit more of a narrative focused story. That's basically what I do. And it's not going to have too many hardcore mechanics, but I just want to show a little story about how this guy ends up turning big and green, and at least before he gets to the point where he turns really huge and whatnot. So basically what I have here is I have a system here for animations and stuff, and never mind that hair. But I have this quick little quest system here, so I can go ahead and, let's say for example, I want to start a quest chain. So I can walk into this volume here, and at the top right you see it says objective sit in chair. Now I can go ahead and sit in the chair, and as I sit in the chair there's going to be a little laptop that opens up, and then from here I could start typing some words and stuff. And so I have it set to auto type right now for bug testing and whatnot. But essentially what it's doing is it's going to finish a quest by getting up to a certain point. And once it gets up to that certain point, this person's going to start talking, and that's going to be good. So then it gets to a certain point, and then the quest continues. So I want this so when the student is doing a test or something along those lines, it's going to have a quest that kind of finishes, and then, you know, people can kind of move on with their life and whatnot. So that's kind of what I was going with there. The player will feel like they're programming as the student, because, you know, the player is playing as a student, and the student's this student is a college kid, and that college kid is you know, in a game design program. And so once I get up to a certain point here, the laptop should close in theory. This should be familiar, except the things like light purple and all that. So boom, and we're done. And then this is going to trigger like another day progress here. So there you have it. And we should be able to get out of our chair if we press the Q key. And there you go. Now let's start the other quest chain system here. So if I were to walk into this volume, so there's two different volumes. There's a quest volume for like regular simple volumes to walk into to start simple quests like sitting into a chair. But then I have a quest or a story volume. So if I walk into this, it's going to start a quest chain, and it's going to say talk to the ladies. Well, here's some ladies, and I got a quest marker right there. So I can, you know, I can move around the map and stuff like that, and I'll see that quest marker through walls and whatnot. Which would be pretty handy if you're just trying to find out the location of where you're trying to go. Now, if we walk into this volume, we'll be able to, their animations are going to change, and you'll also notice too that they'll also be able to look at the player character. So I'm going to walk into the volume here, and then like I could move around, and their head's going to follow, and their eyes are going to track too. And they're going to have a conversation, and you know, you're going to get a little bit of a quest beat there, and then the quest will end, and we're going to have to, you know, talk to this character here. So we're going to go over to this character here, and this one's an interact character. So sometimes maybe there's going to be a student sitting at a desk minding their own business, and you can walk up to it, press the E key for like a line trace there, and then that student could talk to you while looking at you, and then they're going to resume doing whatever it is they're doing and all that jazz. Now we have a cinematic character here too. So not a character, but a volume. So essentially if we walk into this volume here, you know, we're going to fade out, we're going to reduce our HUD. It's going to play specific animation. We could do camera angles and stuff, and then we could you know, fade back into where the player is, and you know, there you go, objective complete. Talk to the female in the red shirt. That quest chain is finished now, and now we have no quest. So what if we wanted to collect something? So testing other actors, activating other actors to start their quests, interacting with the key card will activate the two women's quests. So what if I were to interact with this key card here? What will happen? Well, if I interact with it, this character here will stop dancing, I do believe. Oh yeah, there you go. Now you can hear like a story beat. So if you so happen to interact with like a light switch or just some random object, it'll activate them to, you know, have a quest that pops up or something like that if you so choose. And that's basically what I have going on right here right now. Now, and also by the way down here, it also shows kind of that you have, and that'll be beneficial when you're trying to open up stuff later on in the story. This level that we were in was essentially just the animation test area. This is basically just to test out different things as well here too. So one thing that we do have, or that I mean I have here, is essentially a key card system here. So there's no key needed, so this door opens up, no problem. It's all cool and it closes as it should. But what if you need the key? It tells you need the classroom key. All right, well, let's go get the classroom key. Where is that? That's the key, not the classroom key. This is the classroom. Collect the classroom, but wait, we can't collect the classroom key. Why not? Well, a mission first to do so. So we're gonna walk into here, and it says collect classroom key. Now we have a waypoint right on that classroom key, a green waypoint. We can go over to it, we can interact with it, objective complete. And now if we're walking to this door, look at that, it opens up. Perfect, we got ourselves a key system. And also I changed the way this like opens up and stuff. Kind of flashes green. Good to go. I have a revolving door too, so you know, I can walk into this revolving door and up, and that's going to come in later on. What if I want to sit in chairs, or specific chairs, for example? Well, let's go over here and get to class to start test. So where's the test? The test is right here. We're going to go in here, for example, and I also have a test system to do. So of course we're going to open up that laptop. This is the professor character, by the way. This is also the character you play as in Poppy 2. So you can press key to start test. So we're going to press a key, and the true or false answers, it'll come by, and basically, you know, whatever the player selects is going to be the right answer or just a answer. So basically, this is just serving as a purpose for other story elements to pop in, and the speed will slow down too with the bar at the bottom there. But as you'll notice, there's conversation happening here, like questions essentially. Those questions may turn into conversations as Tall Poppy starts using magic. So collision is needed to collide with the objects. Do you think the professor's colon is compacted? Silly stuff. If so, how much volume do you think his poop will collide with the toilet? Collisions are confusing, aren't they? I mean, trace channels, object channels, blah blah blah. Speaking of blah blah blah, the professor's so blah. I think what I'm done with, and then when you get to this point here and when you answer, then the professor's gonna, you know, start chirping on Tall Poppy. Tall Poppy's gonna be sitting over here thinking that he's cheating, and then Tall Poppy will stop using his magic, and then the questions will resume. That's finished. Yay, laptop closes. We can resume to the next section, next time, next day, whatever it is, whatever I choose it to be, so on and so forth. And then, of course, we can get out of the chair and move on with our life and do what we're doing. So that's one way to go about it here, too. Simple things, too, like maybe you're going to want to sit down at a specific section. So I have different chairs we could kind of just yoink into here. Not just the computer chair, but just basically setting it up so I could sit down in different chairs if I so choose to. And or get to specific regions, too. Like, what if we have to get to the library? Well, once we get to the library, we're going to have another pops up, you know, and then next chair. Well, here's the next chair, and we're all. So this is the subway system, and the player will start in this region here. And with the subway system, we have to get to class. That's the objective. So oftentimes we're going to run down here, and there might be some characters down here that we can interact with and have conversations with. And again, this is a prefab from a marketplace. It's a subway system. And then I just added this subsection here to it too. I made up a college called Boots Bay College. Why is it called Boots Bay? Well, it's because I had a cat. My family had a cat. My sister had a cat. And so we have the college here. So students will be able to walk inside this college here. And there's going to be different, other characters within here. Boots Bay, located in the fictional town of Boots Bay. And of course, you're going to be able to once again interact with different characters, which has different dialogue options. Well, don't quote me on that. There's no dialogue options. There's scripted dialogue section, and there's going to be a door here, whatnot. Some of these things are going to be locked within data layers. But yeah, essentially, so this is the library section here. You know, there's a conference section over here, and there's student interactions and whatnot. And over here we have the student lounge, which is going to be pretty cool. There's a little movie section here, so we're going to have a little bit of a scripted event there. There's going to be, there's a couch there technically, not there now, but there is a couch. And there's scripted events here too. And yeah, so this is essentially a big office map asset pack here. I didn't really modify too much. Now, again, this is more of an experiment to see if I can, finish this game within a reasonable amount of time, but also more or less just to test animation techniques with the LiveLink app and the Rococo body motion capture and stuff like that. So I figured, hey, why don't I make a small prequel game? And it wasn't originally meant to be a prequel game, but I decided to make a prequel for Tall Poppy as Tall Poppy 2. This is the classroom where, most of the action happens. Well, I wouldn't say action. Most of the story beats happen. And as a student, you're going to be sitting right over here. And this basically, your chair is kind of all messed up here. Don't worry about that. But this is basically the view you're going to have in the classroom. And Tall Poppy's going to be sitting in this chair right here, kind of right beside you, about stuff and whatnot. Yeah, this is the environment, this is the scene, and all these mechanics and animation things that I'm working with are going to be fitting within this. And with any luck, it's going to make an interesting story that has interesting, character development And it's also a test for me to see if I can actually make a game that has decent character development and story beats and all that kind of stuff, and if I can make it coherent and make sense and relatively, you know, comical in some aspects. Or I don't know, this whole thing's an experiment to see if I can, you know, put something together in a cohesive fashion, using new tech that I never used, see if I can make it actually work out relatively. And I'll put it on the store, and if anybody wants to buy it, they feel free to buy it. Do you need to play this before Tall Poppy 2? No, you don't need to play it before Tall Poppy. Again, this is kind of a working title. I don't even have a store page out for it yet. But as soon as I get close to a good spot where I have a good demo and kind of stuff, of course I'm going to open up a store page and launch it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that is what I'm working on. Okay, so I got some objectives. One thing I did was I made a, you know, because I'm going to be doing some facial animations. So I made a, I shaved my face. Oh, it looks so bad. You know, I can't beat myself up. I shaved my face so the computer system or the app could have better LiDAR technology that can like shoot its beams at my face, you know, get the specific accuracy that it needs. And so that's going to enable me to have better facial motion capture, and I can transfer this metahuman face to other characters, such as these guys here. So as I showed you in the classroom, there's going to be some students in there. You know, this is the main menu. Working title might be called something else. But essentially, having this enabled here will enable me to use a different control scheme, and then that will enable me to animate faces a lot easier. So I got a task list of whole kinds of stuff that I want to work on here. And level sequence to AI movement is one of those, but one of them also was a option screen. There you go. So we're going to move that into the in progress section here. And what other kind of tasks do we have left? Warning screen for mental health. Maybe I might, because it's in a school setting, I have to put, well, I don't have to put, but I'm going to put something that kind of just talks about, you know, hey, for, you know, having issues, you know, make sure you seek professionals. Splash screen, that's like company logos and stuff like that at the beginning of the game. Main menu options, pause off menu options, these types of things that I have to also implement into there as well. So, you know, as I'm working on that, since I'm working on the option screens, I'm going to put all these suckers in here as well, because they're kind of interconnected. I just need to create an actor that is blinking light. That's easy. I already have footage. I just got to put it into the game. And TV screen with rec light. So there's a new Unreal Engine 5.5 tech that will enable this rec light to flash a little bit better, which would make things a little bit dramatic and cool looking. So I'm going to test that out later on too. But I got a lot of the like the lighting for the college interior. That's actually done. I finished that. That's not true. Not true. There's different phases of lighting for different days I'll have to do. Different, just different tasks essentially. So basically what I'm working on right now is the options menu. And how do I do that? Well, again, I bought this asset pack here that has all the options menu, and all I have to do is just migrate this folder. Now within our other project here, we should have that option in here. Options menu right here. You get all the widgets, you get all that stuff. So now I have all those, so I'm going to put them into my source control here. And I'm going to save again here. I can close this for now. I might want to keep this open, just to, like, test things out, but I'm going to close it for now. In fact, I should have kept that open. So now I gave you like a little bit of a breakdown as to what I'm working on essentially. Wow. And now I'm eating a little bit of lunch. Boom! Got a little bit of chili action brew, so it's going pretty good. Okay, while I'm eating my lunch here, I'm also going to study exactly how the option system worked, how I pull it up, how I close it, these types of things, so I can fully integrate that with my own control scheme and system. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, we're back. Okay, so now I'm going to test out the pause system. I did already kind of have a pause system put in place prior, which enables us to go to the main menu or resume or quit to desktop. So now I'm just going to adjust to that and make sure that I have options enabled here. So when I get that, we then have options. Okay, I'm back. Now let's show what's going on. So first I had a problem where I couldn't actually see. For example, I could just do this here and I can kind of show you. Okay, so for example, this is exactly what I was seeing when I would press play here, and I would go into my game and I would go into my options and then I'd get to my keybind section, but nothing was there. Oh, so frustrating. Okay, so how did I fix that? Well, first things first is that I had to follow the path of the way the flow was. And I was having an issue with this delay. For some reason, this delay bugged out. I couldn't get all the way to clear children, which then I couldn't do a loop and showcase all the settings here. So in this little node here is what populates. Having some issues with registering the actual default. So since this was an asset it was technically bought off the App Store, this was set to nothing. It had nothing in here, set to nil. So I had to kind of figure out that I had to actually put something in there. And then not only that too, but since there was by default two subsections, one for movement, one for action. In this case here, it's a simple game, so I disconnected that, set that up, and then the rest actually started flowing through and doing what it was supposed to do, which is fantastic. So now, with that all figured out, I also had to go into enable this section here and, make sure these are all good to go. Then I'd had to go into my input action map. This is as controls are, and I had to make sure that I had to override settings. I had to make sure player mappable key settings was there, and I had to put some words within here as well to just kind of make sure that those mapping contexts did have some sort of naming conventions within. And so I'd have to go to every single one of these guys. I'd have to set this here, type it in, and away we went. And yeah, I also had to do something within the input action itself here too. I'd also have to make sure that the player mappable key settings was set to true here. So I may have only had to do that only in jump. I might not have had to do this within the input action itself, but it works and I'm gonna run with it. I could do some more experimentation here, but essentially now what it looks like is we press play, create the P key, go to options, we can go to video, we can change all these different video settings, and we have this nice like hover animation, which is cool. And then now we have our keybinds here. Fantastic. So I could change my keybind. So let's say I press this button and I could change it to T key. Then I can go back and then I can go back in here and it's going to be T key. Now if I want to jump, it won't be spacebar anymore, it's going to be the T key. So that's pretty cool. Now I can go back in here. And actually what I should do too is I should stop and then press play again, see if it actually saved. That's pretty important here. Press P, go to options, let's go to keybinds, and it's still the T key. Perfect. I'll switch it back to spacebar, it auto saves, and away we go. That is the options screen. So that's cool. That was something that was on the to-do list today. So let's also look at what else was on the to-do list, and I don't have it up right now, so I'm gonna have to come back to you. Oh, didn't see that. I'm taking a little break because I succeeded in getting the options menu implemented. It's not fully implemented yet, but I got the keybind system working, and that was causing me some problems for a bit. Okay, so the problem I was having was I couldn't get the options keybinds to show. It was holding me up pretty hardcore there, but I persevered, and it took me about an hour or so to kind of figure it out. I had to go back between the documentation. Let's go ahead and take a look here, camera guy. Boom, documentation right here. I had to find out what was going on with that. I had to go to the person who created this whole freaking things, their timeline too, or their documentation, but you'll notice it says 5.1 to 5.2. What? I'm using 5.5. What the heck, man? So I had to go to the official documentation and of course do what everybody does when you have that problem and read up and practice what you preach. Okay, we are back. All right, so now I'm looking at my list of stuff I had to do. And I did buy a options what is this thing called? Sorry, I'm getting used to talking. I did buy an op system because it just gives me a whole. There's some debug time in there too, which kind of counterproductive in some space, but it is what it is. So pause menu options, I say we're getting good. Main menu options, I just have to enable. So prior to this I was just using a widget switcher essentially. Well, I'm going to set this up and I'll get right back to you. Okay, some time has passed. Now let's see if I put that option menu in well in the main. So I'm going to press play and see what happens here. I'm going to go over here. So we get the nice big wide screen. And sometimes a little bit hammy. Okay, so here we are. We got the full screen brewer in here. Wow. We got the options menu button. Click it and nothing's happening. That's a problem. So I'm gonna have to fix that. If I go new game, what happens? Loads in like it should. Monday before class, a new semester. So loads in like it should, which is pretty cool. Walk around and it's all good. And if I press pause here, go to our options, your key bindings again, which is neat. Pretty profesh, pretty good. Look at that, looks pretty good. Okay, so why can't I get to my button here? This button over here, if I were to go here, have an options button. When clicked, it's supposed to set to widget switcher 1. How do we know which one's widget switcher 1? Because if we were to type in the number 1 here, that's what it would look like. And if I were to type 0, then we'd have main menu and then 1, 0, 1. Oops. So that's how you know that it should switch. Pressing the button, no, it doesn't switch. So we got to figure out why it's not. If it's not visible, that's why. Boom, button is visible now, and that should solve that problem. Again, here we are, and options. Here we are. Audio, visual, key binds. It's all good. Now my back buttons. Let's get that out. Boom, back button works good. We can go into the menu here. Got a nice little flow. Ooh, one thing I have to test though is if I can hit my pause button while I'm in the main menu. Shouldn't be able to, so I've got to make sure I can't. Let's go back to the menu from here. Just let's see if that flows well too, which that flowed perfectly. Excellent. Now I'm just going to click anywhere here. I'm going to hit the P key. Yeah, my mouse cursor just went away, so that's an indicator. Exactly that. So I have to tell it to not do that. I'm going to come back. Now before I continue with the options menu here, I took a look outside, and man, it snowed so much. What the heck, dude? Boom. That's so much snow. Oh man, I'm gonna have to calorie deficit myself up here, so I'm gonna eat a little bit more food here, a little bit more snackage. And we'll have a little bit of nuts here. And yeah, it just snowed so much. Let's go take a, oh geez, my neighbor's outside. Okay, well, I don't want to be a weirdo and film her. But yeah, so definitely gonna, it's about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches of snow, give or take. Well, I don't know. Let's go take a look again. Let's go take a look again here. Well, you can take a look at the footsteps here. Now let me flip this around. We're flipped around now, so now we can kind of see how much it is. So let's go enhance. Take a look at the footsteps there. You can kind of tell how deep it is. But yeah, that's insane. And so I'm gonna have to do some shoveling in a bit. Now we're back here again, and we got it to work. Let's take a look. So what I had to do for the pause screen is I had to check if we were actually in the main menu. And if the main menu widget was up, if it was valid, then we can't press or pause. But if it's not valid, it means we're in the world and we can run around, and we can then use the pause screen. So what does that look like? It looks like this. Perfect. So here we are again. I'm gonna go with, like, I'm gonna click around the screen right here, and I'm spamming my P key, hardcore, and happening. The escape key will work because it's Unreal Engine, so I mistakenly hit escape key. If it's a build of a game, the escape key won't do anything, but if it's a editor version, it's gonna close it down. So can't do my pause screen, so I'm gonna hit game. I'm still spamming my pause key right now. and we still have nothing coming up. And then when we have this here, we can hit the pause key again, and now we can resume like we normally. Everything's all cool. We can go back to the main menu. I'm spamming my pause key again. Everything's fine. We're good. So far, so good. So that concludes that chapter. Now, if I'm taking a look here, main menu options, it still has to be cleaned up. We're almost there though, but like I would say this is 70% of the way. What else do I have to do? Well, I still have to do a continue. I don't have a save system right now, so I have no way to continue and go forward in the story or anything like that. I just have main menu options. The options menu obviously is working, doing what it needs to do, which is fantastic. Again, like I've got, I can do max FPS. It's not optimized right now, so we have low FPS right there. But we have the availability to do so here too. I can add more key bindings if I so choose to. I will do for thing like WASD, just moving up, forward, backwards, left, right, all that kind of stuff. So there's more keybinds I have to do it. Not exactly finished yet, but we're getting there. The foundation, the framework is in now. And the flow is good too. So I have my menu system here too. So, or my day system. So on Monday before class, a new semester, that's working good. Walking around's working good. Jumping could do fine. Everything's good. We got a crouch in here. It's all good. And so far so good. So now I'm going to transition to another camera right now. All right, so now we're transitioning to the afternoon. It is 3:30 p.m. right now. And I made myself a nice little bowl of chili again, like the second half of it essentially. And I'm gonna consume this, and then I'm gonna go shovel all that snow outside. So it's gonna be a good one. And then after that, I want to listen to some music. So I'm trying to challenge myself with listening to one artist or one new song a day. And I want to check out any new movie trailers that are coming out. And then later this evening, I may game with some buddies just to kind of round off the evening. So stay tuned for that. Okay, we're about to go shovel outside now. And it's pretty snowy out there, so now I got to dress up. So I put some coat on. And hopefully this thing doesn't fall off my shirt. I don't want to go too hardcore. I got a bad tooth issue here, and so it hurts to kind of chew on my left side. I need to get a tooth pulled, and I just don't have the cash for that yet. I do have benefits though, luckily, but I don't know, I'm also kind of a wuss. I kind of don't want to do it, but I have to do it. All right, away we go. Oh my god, don't fall down the stairs. My car's full of snow. Check out all that snow. So thick. Wow. That's enough. Well, that's the evening time, folks. So today was a pretty good day. We did some programming, we figured out some options stuff, we did the driveway, took care of a couple of errands there, and we had some good entertainment. So I just hope that your day was good too, and I hope you have a good night and sleep tight.